What's going on, guys? BrokenMachine here. Hope you guys are all doing well today. This guide aims to help out those of you struggling to adjust to the chaos found in Battlefield 6, especially those of you new to the series, and definitely those jumping into Battle Royale when it arrives. I have been making Battlefield guides for around 12 years now, and definitely won't be stopping anytime soon. If you appreciate the content and streams, do be sure to drop a like. The biggest tip of them all, and one I showed just the other day, is to simply slow down. If you didn't watch that video, I am basically sat in the enemy spawn, right next to the enemies, laying on the floor as players keep on rushing past and getting a pretty tasty kill streak. This is a perfect example illustrating why you slow down. Players are not always checking their corners, not looking at their blind spots, and just not paying attention in general to the battlefield around them. You have to use that to your advantage. So simply put, my main tip, and one that is incredibly effective, is to slow down. If you do blindly rush around the map, you will get taken advantage of, especially by players like me who are looking for every advantage we can have over you. I am not interested in a fair fight. I want to see you before you see me as much as possible. By slowing down, you limit the amount of angles of exposure. Think of it like this. Upon leaving a building, if you approach like this, you expose yourself to far too many angles. But if you slow down, peek out like this, you will often see players before they see you. That right there is limiting angles of exposure. Take this flag on Manhattan Bridge. It's always best to have a peek before running into this one. If the coast looks clear, you could head into the middle and use the walls here to cover yourself from other entrances. That right there is limiting angles of exposure. Noticing what your teammates are doing is really beneficial as well. So imagine same flag, teammates on left side, you look to the other side. You want to be doing that as much as possible while navigating these maps. It makes the game so much easier. Reacting to what your teammates are doing and adjusting accordingly is a massive part of success in Battlefield. Do this before you leave buildings and open areas as much as possible. It's incredibly powerful in close quarter situations, as seen in this section of Merak Valley. As you navigate around the maps, you want to be using cover and concealing yourself as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying sit behind objects and head glitch all day. Rushing around is way more fun and satisfying, but notice how I've usually got something in front of me to either cover or conceal myself. It could be a box, a trash can, just some bushes, even the hill in front of us overlooking an objective. Whatever there is on the map, use it to hide yourself. So the minimap is incredibly important. You can see what's going on around you, where your teammates are and where they aren't. You want to be paying attention to that as well. Now, I wouldn't recommend staring at it all the time. Just quick glances when you're ready to take action. For example, you want to jump on a flag, have a quick glance then. Or you've just taken out several players, have a look afterwards. And remember, like other titles you play, when you fire your weapon, you show up on the minimap. You don't need to be super paranoid, but just remember, after blasting up a room, somebody probably has seen that on the minimap and they could be ready for you. So you need to be ready too. And this is what I would call a hyper-aware playstyle. Now, you don't need to keep your head on a swivel. That is doing 360s all day. But a good general rule to keep in mind is upon a fight ending, be ready for the next entrance. So like this middle flag again, you've just blasted enemies here, look for the next route, exit or entrance. Good players are constantly doing this. They are not reacting so much to what's going on around them, they are trying to anticipate what may happen next. With huge maps and lots of players, that may sound quite daunting, but it's really not. We'll talk about that in a moment, but first, did you know you can actually equip a suppressor to reduce how much you appear on that minimap? I use these all the time, especially on flanks. They can be incredibly effective. Just being a little quieter as well helps so much, especially in the busy built-up areas. Get one on right now if you don't. Before we do jump into more stuff on situational awareness, let's talk gunplay and aiming. There is an accuracy bonus for standing still in Battlefield, and also tap firing and burst firing will improve your accuracy too. Crouching and going prone also improves weapon handling even further. I'm not saying you need to be sat still all the time, crouching or on the floor, but if you are a new player, get to grip with these new mechanics a little more in your gameplay. As a general rule, if the opponent fits inside of the crosshair, you are okay to move. You obviously want to be using sliding in your movement techniques. Crouch bouncing is quite effective too, and of course using the lean and mount features can be very helpful in certain situations. Just approach an object and aim down sight. Some good players like to strafe left to right. Aim lower to counter these, and as a general rule, if your opponent is moving quickly, mirroring them can be very effective. But don't overthink it, guys. Just take the shot and adjust if necessary. A little bit of bad aim is better than super slow reactions. You can always adjust. Good tip for sniping, but also just general infantry, is to try and have your crosshair centered on your enemy before you aim down sight. You'll find you'll win way more gunfights. And of course, sniping, it's so much more effective for that. When it comes to centering, it's also a good idea to have your crosshairs where your opponents could be next. So for example, you're coming down a corridor, there's no point in having your aim or your crosshairs on the wall here. You want it right on the edge, ready for an opponent. If you watch my gameplay, you'll see me doing this often, especially when rushing in busy areas. You always want to be ready for the next opponent. If you're on target before they've seen you, just as they come around the corner, you won't have to adjust, meaning you won't have to aim as much, you won't have to react as quickly, and you're much more likely to win the gunfight. Centering is so simple and easy. Anyone can do it. Do it more often, and you'll find you'll succeed way more on the battlefield. And remember, if you are missing shots on a stationary target, the game is basically telling you you are firing too much. Burst or tap and you'll be fine. I won't go too much into aim today, I've got an aim guide coming shortly. What I will say is, learn where the center of your screen is. You're not aiming like in real life, you are bringing them to the center. The more you know where this is, the more accurate and faster you can potentially be. Remember, weapons are 0 to 50 meters. Meaning an opponent at 50 meters, if you aimed at the head, the shot will hit the head perfectly. So up close, aim a little lower. Using cover and concealing yourself well is really important, but if you really want to do well, we got to build up that situational awareness. This is where I would recommend playing Breakthrough. One team spawns one side, the other on the opposite. Your opponents will always be generally coming from one side, and you won't have to worry too much about being shot in the back. If you are new to the series, give that mode a go, and also give Escalation as well. If you do like Conquest or Domination style modes, you might want to try Escalation. It's like Conquest, but a little more hectic, and as the match progresses, you'll find yourself in more gunfights, so you get to improve that situational awareness. Big pro tip here, when capturing a flag, you can see how many enemies and friendlies are on the objective area up here. Use this to help guide your approach. Remember, you don't have to commit to capturing an objective on the first go. This is a mistake many new players make. You can often trip the flag, see if anyone's on it, and come back later if need be. Success in Battlefield is often about making those smart decisions on when and where to engage. Sometimes walking away or even flanking is your better bet. Flanking is where you attack your opponents from the side and behind. We'll talk flanking tips later on. When it comes to class selection, it is really down to how you wish to play the game and help your teammates. If you are new to the game, support class and its medic bag, and later on the pouches which allow fast healing on the move, are arguably the best way to adjust the battlefield. Do remember, before spawning in, these icons here indicate what classes your squad are made up of, so if you have 0 medics, you may wish to pick one and balance out the squad a little. Paying attention to the bigger map as a whole is key to building up situational awareness. Here we see this flag being captured and under enemy control, so I use this as an opportunity to flank from the side. Flanking is the best strategy to surprising your opponents and getting some sweet kill streaks. Some flanks are lucky, some really skillful, often a mixture of both. Good ones are just about paying attention and seizing opportunities. You spawn this side of the map, they spawn the opposite, they have this flag, so you try to flank around it. Basically that. It might sound so obvious, but sticking with your squad in Battlefield is way better for your success, especially if you're a new player. If you want more kills, you gotta break off and take some risk, but keeping them nearby, a quick res, some backup firing power can go a long way. If you are new to the game, Battlefield's big maps and lots of players may be a little overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. You can survive this. Remember, a map is taken and a game won by the sum of each individual player's actions out there on the battlefield. You cannot take the whole building by yourself, but you can push up the map here and take this room, and then take this next room. These bite-sized actions add up and are what separates players that succeed and those that don't. You don't have to be the fastest at aiming or making decisions. Just try to make the right ones. Battlefield is way more about positioning than it is aim. You position yourself well and take the map piece by piece, and you'll have a much better chance at survival. This is a common building here. 2 floors, get the first room, conceal yourself, get the stairs, get the next stairs, clear the room. Rinse and repeat, you'll succeed. Trust me. Now apply that to the bigger map as a whole, and you'll see it is so much more easily digestible, and you'll have a much better time. Doesn't matter how big or how many players there are, the same rules apply. We'll be exploring that soon in a brand new video very shortly. Do be sure to make sure notifications are on for that one. You don't want to miss it. Remember earlier I mentioned blind spots. Common situation you'll come across, building ahead of you, windows, someone could peek. So do just be aware of that and don't rush out into the open when approaching. Always have a quick glance at what's ahead of you is a good rule to play by. Just a little pause and a plug for the moment. If you are enjoying the streams, the tutorials and the tips and tricks and all this good stuff, do be sure to use code BrokenMachine in the EA app. You'll be helping support this channel for free. Anyway, back to the content. I do hope these tips help, guys. More to come very soon. Much of this might sound very obvious, but being a Battlefield veteran, sometimes it's good to have a refresh. I know I do. Sometimes I come back and watch my own guides and I'm like, right, yep, I'm not doing that as much. I'm not doing that very often. I'm rushing too many angles, not limiting angles of exposure, and being out in the open. I make mistakes too. I've been playing this series for over a decade now, and I still make these common mistakes. Anyway, guys, hit the rating on your way out. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on stream very soon. Appreciate you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you soon.